Welcome, everybody. So this is a big Wednesday. We had Master Plan Part 4 dropped on Monday. We have good news about Tesla Model Y L. We've got a new video of Optimus, which will play. Mark Benioff, Salesforce, was with Elon, and they showed off the latest version of, well, it's not the latest version of Optimus, but a version. And we got Nick Gibbs here. We're co-streaming on his channel, Investing Against the Grain. Brian White is about to join us. He's flying in from Nepal. He's going to land in about a few minutes. It might take him a little bit more after that to get settled, but we're expecting him to join us as well. So Nick, our topic right now is, is Elon Musk just launched the Master Plan Part 4. It was missing some milestones, but it does feel like he's setting up Tesla for takeoff. I mean, we've got the Model Y L coming out. You've got the new affordable vehicles coming out, but beyond that, you got FSD expanding, not as fast as some people are thinking. And then you've got a little glimmer of Optimus. Is anything here changing in the last week at all for you, or is it still very much the same as it's always been?
That's it. It's not where I thought you were taking this.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I don't think. No, let me answer your question. I don't think we learned anything new this past week.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I would say. I honestly, I think this was a disappointing week.
In what way? Because the Master Plan Part 4. You were hoping to see more specifics and milestones. Yeah.
Let's just not sugarcoat it. It was pathetic.
Yeah.
That never should have been released. That was amateur hour. That was day 2. That was, you might as well call Tesla a General Motors. That was a IBM, HP type day 2 company master plan. Like, that's not, it wasn't written from Elon's tone or point of view, which they historically have been. It had zero details. That was everything that Elon claims he doesn't like about marketing advertisement. That was the trash in the worst ways of marketing advertisement. That's what they put out, and it was embarrassing.
Yeah, so I have a theory about this. I've been talking about it in the last couple of days. My theory is that, his the proxy is about to drop in a couple of weeks, and when that happens, one of the things we're going to vote on is his own compensation plan, which will have milestones. And I think what the board needed to do and the company needed to do is reset the mission. And he's been talking about it, right? Sustainable, accelerating the path to sustainable abundance instead of sustainable. I forgot all the old one already. What was it before? Sustainable energy? No, come on, help me out here.
I don't know. You've confused me now.
Oh, okay. Well, so the new mission is sustainable abundance, and
yes,
they just needed to say that out. I don't think they're going to share the details now. He did say that he's going to share details on this because Dave Lee pressed them on it. But I think it's part of his compensation plan. That's when they'll tell you the details of what he's going to accomplish.
I don't think it's because Dave Lee pressed him on it. I think it's because there were enough people like myself willing to go out there and put themselves out there and talk about how bad it was, how embarrassing they should feel for putting that out there. And I think Elon probably felt the same way. And that's why he responded the way he did. They didn't need to do this. There's no reason. I mean, I don't think I'm open-minded. I'm very open-minded. So you can change my mind. But I don't think you can tell me right now one good reason why they had to put that out.
I just did.
That's not a good reason.
The reason they had to put it out was to reset the mission.
Why?
Prior to the proxy dropping and the vote that's coming.
Yeah, why?
It's part of
didn't reset anything. That just created trash. They put garbage out there. They didn't reset anything. There's no reset. That did not help anyone. In the famous words of what's that movie? Old School. We are now dumber for having read that. We knew more before we read that.
Yeah. That's true.
That did not advance anything.
Yeah.
It was
pretty weak.
Did not make one extra person vote on behalf. Not one. If anything, that probably caused people to vote against. Like, what the hell is going on there? Now they're putting this crap out there. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I know everyone in the Tesla community probably hates me right now for being this open, but guys, we got to call the BS when we see it. Elon is not a god where he doesn't make mistakes. And honestly, I don't think that was Elon, to be honest.
That's the point. That's
Like,
that was
it was
my
trash.
point. This is corporate speak, just like Master
is.
Plan Part 3 was. And first of all, I think many of us, I don't know anybody who thought that was a fantastic plan and they got motivated.
There's plenty. I saw all over X. Everybody was literally on their knees going like
Not me,
this,
yeah.
and everyone was just like sitting there like gargling at every little thing that Elon puts
Yeah.
out there. Like, no, guys. Like,
I'm
this
just
is
trying to
our
piece
company
together
too.
the dots, which is they had to say heading to sustainable abundance. Just spit it out there in a formal way.
You're rationalizing a mistake, a bad decision. You're trying to find purpose behind it. Sometimes people F up. Tesla effed up. They shouldn't have done that.
But the point we were discussing is why now? And the only reason I can think of is that it's 2 weeks prior to the proxy dropping. They had to get something out just to restate the mission prior to them now pitching you on what Elon's going to do for the future. But you're right. It was terrible. That part we're not doing. And this one here is also not that incredible, which is the latest Optimus drop. We've been waiting for more Optimus demos, and they've not shared any. And I think for a good reason, right? They don't want to share more demos that people can copy. Mark Benioff of Salesforce visited Elon. They took a video. They posted it. I wasn't terribly impressed with this also, but Elon's Tesla's Optimus is here, dawn of the physical agent force. So he's pitching Salesforce new software platform agent force that's going to help, I guess, optimize human plus robot work together. Productivity, game changer. Okay, congrats, Elon. Okay, and we'll play this video, but it looks like it's still Optimus Gen 2, which is fair. We don't want them to share what Gen 3 is going to look like. But look at the hands. I mean, it's almost like they don't move at all. You can see that it was slid over it. I think this is like a mannequin hands that was purposely just trying to make it look cool. But, I would have rather had them have kept the original Gen 2. But, I'm not going to read into it and think that's going to be the new hands. I don't think that's the case. But even the way he was speaking to them with Grok, it's pretty stunted. Nothing exciting. Here's what it looks like.
What are you doing there?
Just chilling, ready to help.
Hey, Optimus, do you know where I can get a Coke?
Sorry, I don't have real-time info, but I can take you to the kitchen if you want to check for a Coke there.
Oh, yeah,
Let
that'd
me
be
know if we
great.
should go.
Yes, let's do that. Let's go.
Too much delay. Oh my gosh.
Awesome. Let's head to the kitchen.
Okay.
Okay, go.
I think we need to give it a bit more room. Right now it's kind of paranoid about space. It'll be able to walk a lot faster too.
Yeah, not good. And then Elon was with you heard him there with Mark Benioff, and they posted that photo.
So I don't know how many people in the audience watched me on Monday with Randy Kirk. But Randy and I kind of got into a back and forth where I was saying that as a Tesla community, we need to, I'm just not going to be polite today, so apologies. I'm just not in the mood to try to think of how to say things in a PC way. But I think a lot of people in the Tesla community are making the same mistakes that they have over and over again. And what I mean by that is foolishly, we were all wrong, every one of us, on the timeline for FSD and robo-taxis. We've been wrong about new affordable vehicles. We've been wrong over and over again. And at some point, you have to iterate and reflect on where you were wrong so that you can get better. And I think there have been too many people to this day, and I include Randy in this, I include potentially you, Herbert, on this, that people are way too optimistic on when humanoids will roll out, when they're going to start selling them, when they're actually going to start being in a real way useful, not in a, hey, it does this little thing here. I mean, like genuinely useful, and when they'll actually start selling them. And I think that we're still pretty far away from that, like pretty far away from that. And Randy and I got into a back and forth, and I'm just saying, like, guys, we got to iterate. We're all making the same stupid mistake over and over again, where we're just wrong. We're right about the idea, the concept, and what the technology is going to be. We are embarrassingly wrong about timelines, and nobody's trying to iterate. If anything, I see people shifting left on their timelines, which is just laughable to me at this point. And then this video drops. This video should not have been allowed to go out.
No,
Like,
should not have been.
just as a investor perspective, that was bad. Clearly, there's no inference happening, at least from the communication perspective. There's no inference happening on board. That lag is highly indicative of it being up in the cloud or in some data center in Tesla. Clearly, there's a lag there. The movements are embarrassing. It's got prosthetic arms. The way it's moving, the gait is lower than what I think we've seen most recently. And sure, maybe this is a different iteration of of Optimus. Maybe it's Gen 2, whatever. But when people see that this is the first humanoid video of Optimus that they're seeing in almost 6 months, that was embarrassing. That lacks confidence in Tesla and what they're doing. Like, that's the only way to say it. Like, that does not inspire confidence. It just doesn't. And then on top of that, you're sitting there. Who's the person posting this? It's Benioff, literally the guy who his software, for lack of a better word, sucks. It just does. Salesforce. No one likes Salesforce. People use Salesforce because it's the only real thing that's out there. But it's clunky. It's not. Even Tesla doesn't use Salesforce internally. They made their own software, right? So I just think like the whole thing is kind of comical, especially when you like look at kind of behind the scenes, like what's done internally. But that just wasn't a good representation. Like, that should not have been allowed to go out. Like, there's got to be some control at some point. Now, mind you, stock is up today, 2.5%, not because of this. Clearly it's not down. So, maybe you can't say it hurt the stock, but these things take time to filter through the world, through society. And eventually some people are going to get their hands on it and they're going to be like, oh, well, look at Figure doing this. And this is all Tesla can do. And look how laggy it is. And it's, you open up yourself for more shots. And I guess, I don't know, to me, it just, people who are probably on the stream watching, everyone here knows that we've seen Optimus move better than that. We've seen the dancing videos and all that. So we know it can move better. And we understand that there's a future with AI 6 where the inference will be on board. And we understand with Tesla and FSD, we understand how that inference works on board, and that was probably just a demo. They probably just want to put it in there just to see how it reacts, and it's probably just testing. And we get that. But perception matters too. And the perception is that that's as good as Tesla has right now. And that's the latest video that's come out. And I just think it's bad, Herbert. Like, I'm not trying to be a downer today. Like, I'm as bullish as I've ever been on Tesla, but they're making mistakes. They're making missteps. And arguably, it all falls on Elon. Elon keeps screwing up over and over. And I'm sorry, unless we all say something, unless Dave Lee puts that post in a more, again, PC way, Elon doesn't probably see it. And then he doesn't sit there and say, okay, I will give more details. Like, we have to speak up. That's all. I'll leave it at that.
First of all, totally agree with everything you said, right? This is a mistake for sharing this. The master plan was a mistake for sharing that. I am trying to understand what is going on with Elon and his thinking. He did say prior to dropping the master plan 4, he had another post and he said that, master plan part 2, which is where they talked about being able to have driverless cars that's 10 times safer than a human, that they're going to have every segment of vehicle, and that there's, at some point people will be able to sell or make money with their own cars, that will be done by next year. Okay. And then he said Master Plan 3 was a complete mess. And it was too clunky, I don't know what the words he used. And he was right there. So he will make Master Plan 4 concise, and it wasn't. So that's where it was like that weird, that was that weird thing. And that's where I'm thinking that was not the master plan for, that they rushed it because of the proxy. That's why I'm coming up with that idea. Like, I'm trying to understand why they did that too, right? So be clear. I'm not one of those people that's going, master plan 4 is amazing. It's all great.
Impact on the proxy.
Yeah. So, and then with the bot, what they're showing you is Gen 2. And Elon has always been, as you watch him and you know this, he doesn't like to do too much of prepared, edited, kind of just show you the best. He loves it when it's just, I'm there and I'm going to just show you the truth, right? I know that there's been past situations where Elon posted an FSD video 2020 or whatever it was. It was too early, and he said that it was driving and all that. I get that was, edited and to make it look good. But in general, that's his style, and you can see that he saw that it was being videotaped, and he was willing to tell this guy to do this. I think that Elon also communicated back to Mark saying thank you. It's almost like he doesn't care what you guys see right now. What I'm looking through is past this. Now let's talk about that, right? Whether or not investors are optimistic about what is happening. And so just to be clear about my position, people always go, "Oh, Herbert, you're super bullish. Why can't you be more rational like other people?" And I go, "Tell me what my price target is." I don't give price targets. I interview people and they tell me what their price target is for the stock. I don't give, I think that there's going to be 10,000 Optimuses by the end of this year. Like people like Randy does things like that, and other people, they will give estimates. I don't do that. But I do agree with you that in general, most of us are so this idea that we're being over optimistic of what we're expecting, it is prevalent, absolutely prevalent. Let's dive deeper into that.
You believe that the safety driver comes out after this year?
I said before. January. Yeah. If somebody, I pressed other people.
So you do give some metrics. You do give some metrics. You just don't give other stock price metrics.
No, I don't do stock price, and I'll make guesses myself too, just to play the game. But yeah. I'm not really going, this is what's going to be, and let me show you what it is. I collect from multiple people what they're thinking, and then, yeah.
But okay. So, yeah, I don't know where to go from here right now in the conversation because I don't want to ask you anything that we would talk about behind.
No, that's fine. I mean, I think you're right though. Generally, we are more optimistic about what's to happen. And we've been wrong for 4 years, right? Like, things are looking good.
Yeah.
Now,
but can I throw in a butt there? Everyone, it's not just about being more optimistic because that's kind of a cop-out for a lot of people. They'll say, oh no, I'm being too happy and forward-looking, excited about the future. Like, oh no, I'm wrong. Oh well, it's like, who's ever going to tell someone, oh, you got to iterate on your optimism? No, it's a cop-out. You were wrong. It's just binary. It's not, are you optimistic or pessimistic? It's not that. Were you right or wrong? We've been wrong. And our excuse is always like, oh, I was overly optimistic. Oh, I was just too happy about the future. It's like, no, stop it. You were wrong. How are you going to be less wrong? Let's get back to that. Let's get back to being less wrong. And how are we doing that as a community or just individually? Or what do you reaching across the screen here into everyone's living rooms or through everyone's iPhones? But how are you guys iterating on being less wrong? And I think at the end of the day, we're all invested in a company that has to have certain outcomes for us to realize our investments to be profitable. Now, many people in the comments right now haven't seen a single profit in Tesla, if not been negative in it, and they've been in it for 5 years. Now, I don't think most people would admit that, but let's be honest, it's just the truth. The stock's been flat. So it doesn't mean you should sell. I highly believe that the majority of people should buy and hold because that's, I think, a prudent way to invest. But you also can't just lie to yourself. And I don't know. It's easier to stay and have commitment in being invested as a long-term shareholder when you have appropriate expectations. When you say, okay, I've been wrong about FSD, and even now Robotaxi got launched, and even now it's actually rolling out. Some people would say fast, but it's actually rolling out kind of slow in many ways. And that could be a religious kind of, back and forth if you want. But the reality is, it does not look like we have a line of sight to hundreds of thousands of robotaxis by the summer. I would say, like, line of sight, I don't see that line of sight there right now. Maybe we'll be. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see what happens with version 14. We'll see what happens by the end of the year. Maybe we just hockey stick up. But I would say normally that's not how these things happen. They don't just hockey stick up, right? It's just slow, 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 slow. And then eventually, like, oh my God, we're here. What's happened with FSD? FSD was just one software update after another, after another, after another. And next thing you know, we're like, holy crap, when was the last time I even intervened? Yeah. And it just, all of a sudden you're sitting in it and you didn't even realize it happened. It's like aging. You look in the mirror every single day and you feel like you look the same, but then you look at a picture from yourself like 10 years ago, like, oh, wow, I'm old. But that's kind of pessimistic. But you get what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's probably more how it happens.
There is a general theme that, or whatever premise that says something like people are very likely to overestimate the short term, but they're very likely to underestimate the long term. So let's say short term is, things that might happen in a year or two, but they're more likely to underestimate what will happen in 5 to 10 years. That is the dichotomy. That's the problem. And so that's where, most of us are saying, we say, we don't know what's going to happen in the next year or two. We've learned how to say that and then say, but this is what's going to happen in 5 to 10 years. And then people will fight back on, I don't have 5 to 10 years to wait for something like that to happen. We don't know what's going to happen in 1 to 2 years, right? The economy crashes, interest rates go up.
Can I pause you there?
A delay happens because of the hands, right? Whatever the reason could be, there's a specific part that they can't get a hold of anymore. So now he's pushed back his estimates. These things can happen. They did happen. And so people are wrong. And that's why I think in general, you have to say, I don't know what's going to happen in 1 or 2 years. Right?
Okay. Let me add to that. So starting August, I started putting out my returns from just trading, not my investments, just my trading. And something like I've gotten a lot of DMs and people asking questions. The biggest thing that I think applies to trading, I think it applies to investing, I think it applies into life in general, is that we don't know anything.
Yeah.
The sooner people realize they don't know anything, the sooner they will stop losing, in my opinion, at anything in life. The only thing you can control are your decisions. That's it. That's all you can do. You don't know timing. You don't know what the stock price will be. You don't know when the technology is going to be ready. You don't know what Elon's going to post or tweet. You don't know what he's going to say politically or not politically. You don't know who he's going to start dating. You don't know anything. But you know the decisions that you can control. And if you focus on that, and you control your opinions and your thoughts, and you can just kind of see into where you think the future will go, while you still don't know, you'll be a lot more successful rather than trying to do anything related to timing. Timing anything in the stock market and trading in life is a fool's errand. It's the inevitable person, especially today. This is probably, you have, I believe, kids who are, I don't know, maybe like 5-7 years younger than me, Herbert. But the thing that I see right now in society is kids are waiting for the right time to get married, waiting for them to have the right job, to have the certain amount of net worth before they can even think about getting married, before they can start having kids. And next thing you know, you try to wait for timing of everything that you think is going to happen, that you think like, I need this, I need that. And then your life goes by. And next thing you know, you just missed out on everything. And we're seeing that so much. First-time home buyers now, the average first-time home buyer is 38 years old. 38, Herbert. Yeah. People aren't having kids anymore. People aren't getting married. Women and men aren't. My point is, timing has always been a fool's errand.
It's a fool's errand. And so, okay, let's go back to investing, right? I have a thesis, and you invest in that thesis. And then you have no idea when it's going to come. So you should never say to somebody, the stock will be, triple whatever at a certain time. That would be, who knows? Maybe it will be. You have to caveat all that. But I'd like to ask people who say that, who think that is, why they think that could be the case with all the caveats. Now, in general, just generally, I have a thesis. And my thesis is technology is improving and what technology do I want to bet on? Which company can accomplish that technology? I could be completely wrong, and so that is a mistake on my part. But you want to invest, and you want to invest when you got money. You want to invest. You should invest it. You should try to find stocks that you think are going to be valuable in the future with some sort of thesis of a trend, right? Whether or not the internet's here. I think the internet could be big. Other people said, no, it's just a fad. I think it could be good. And then you look for signals and signs of whether or not the internet is a real thing. Mobile phones, is that a real thing? Or do people really will prefer you have to make a thesis and make a bet. It's a bet. It's an investment. My thesis is that that we are headed into a world where there will be electric vehicles and there's going to be AI and there's going to be robots and all that. And then you go and find out, okay, which company has the most likely to accomplish that? Then you try to focus on the product and are they making progress? And so even though that he posts these two videos, I still very strongly believe that the thesis is strong and still there. I'm seeing signs, as you are, that FSD is pretty close to solving the problem. Now, could there be an issue that it never gets solved for 5 years? Yeah, it's a bet I'm making. But am I driving FSD every single day and I have not had a single intervention in 6.5 months? Yeah. So I'm driving it every day and I'm seeing it and it's working. And I'm going, okay, why do I think that it may not? Now it's a N of 1. So I completely understand that could be completely mistaken in terms of does that mean is that robo-taxi ready with 10,000 cars? Maybe not. It's like a law of numbers at this point. But you have to kind of have your thesis and you're betting it. I don't know what timing is. Yeah, you're right, though. People are assuming that we're here. All I'm saying is the milestones. You follow the key milestones. Yeah. And are they improving? Is the stage of those progress of those milestones. And that's why I try to track the milestones and I can see and I know very well milestones slip and people make mistakes. I've started companies myself. I know how hard it is to hit milestones. But it's the technology. And so if these guys are continuing to improve in any rate at all with FSD becoming robotaxi, if I ask you, if you were to make a bet in which you are investing, that robotaxi is going to be a future thing, it's here, it's going to happen. Or you're going to say, nope, it'll never happen. I'm going to lean towards, I'm going to make that bet. I think it is going to happen. Now, if you say which year, that's a totally separate thing. I would never bet my net worth on a very specific year that it's going to happen, right?
Yeah. So, and I think that's where you and I have for years had alignment, right? Is that we look at technology and think about where do we see the technology going? And I mean, what was it? Early 2024, I was sitting there telling you, dude, they solved it. It's not done, but they solved it. And I was telling you this over and over, and you're like, I don't know, man, I don't. And then that one day you got your
the new version, hardware 4. That was when I realized, okay, that is working, but hardware 3 was not.
Yeah, and then you were like, Nick, dude, I see what you're saying now. And I'm like, yeah, dude, it's done. They solved it. It's not done, but they solved. The puzzle piece is done. I got 3 pieces left. I have the piece over here. I see it. It's done. I don't actually need the pieces in there to know it's done. I can use a little bit of reasoning. And I think that's what we see right now with FSD. I think we see that with the inevitability with where things are going with humanoids. I've had posted on my X for I don't know how long now that LLMs will not be the future of AI. It will be robotaxis and humanoids. It just seems so freaking obvious to me. It just seems abundantly clear. You need to have the real world data. That's the only way you're actually going to get to whatever your definition of ASI or AGI or whatever, right? It seems like it's a spectrum these days. But to truly get to something that is human-like, truly human-like, indistinguishable from you or me, Herbert, on being able to do useful things in the world or being able to actually replace humans doing jobs, it's going to have to come in those form factors. And the way we can get to that point is to build them, create them, go out, get the data, bring data back in, train. It's a very simple, I'm simplifying it very much, but the roadmap has been laid out with autonomy. We've seen it. It's beyond clear. It's much like seeing LiDAR versus cameras. It's clear. It's just so abundantly clear. Like, if you just sit there and think about that whole argument that people keep having about LiDAR versus cameras, one company, Tesla, has a choice. They can choose these LiDAR, they can choose these all data. Every other company has no choice because they don't have the data. So the company that has a choice, what are they deciding to do? Okay, well, maybe that's what we listen to. And this is the route they're going. And the fact that they've been able to catch up so quickly to everyone else from OpenAI, whatever, at XAI, it just shows you that is not a hard moat to cross. But FSD and getting camera and getting data, that is. And Optimus will be the same way. So we can see where technology patterns are going. And that, I think, is investable. But timing it, impossible.
Right. So when I say that we're setting ourselves up, the pieces are in place. What I'm referring to is this. Okay, let's start with the bot. Now, in January of last year, January of last year, the majority, I don't even know what number, let's say 80, 90% of people, when you talk to them about humanoid robots, it was impossible, never, can't be done. And then in January to June, there was a rash of companies showing demos. And then all of a sudden, everybody realized, okay, it's coming. Then what happens? Everybody overthinks it's going to happen, that are ready to go. So the first battle, sort of my perspective is, guys, no, human or robots it's going to come. Okay, so that was the thing. So now the next thing is, wait. Don't be fooled by all these demos, because then that's where it flipped. Now all of a sudden people are they're jumping the gun and they're watching all these demos. Oh my God, right? Human or robots can do everything. And now we're flipping and saying to people, I have as well been saying that, be careful, because there's actuators are not, I was told by one CEO of a human or robot company that these actuators break every 6 months, and they haven't been able to create them in durability, repeatability, all those kind of things. And so the manufacturing of these things is the rate limiting step. And then the AI versus the physical mechanics is kind of like they leapfrog each other. At one point, it was the mechanics were easier to do. Then all of a sudden, AI's leaped forward, and all of a sudden, the roadblock is now, how can you make the actual bot at scale? And that's where we're at today. So the battle, people were going, they're not smart enough, they won't know what to do. No, you can actually, and we were showing videos of 3 PhD students teaching these robots that are walking around to be able to do tasks like pressing an elevator with just 500 repetitions, and they were able to get 85% accuracy rate to be able to do that task. So that's not good enough, of course, for usual, but it just shows you that teaching these bots can actually happen. But that's another thing to actually create the bots, and that's where we're at today. So and I think I was one of the first with Scott Walter pointing out that there is a lack of planetary roller screws, that's why any bot that has linear actuators is going to be delayed this year, and that's what we're seeing today. So what I do is dive deep as much as I can to understand, and you change your position. You go, oh, it's not like robots are here and they're going to be here next year. It's like, no, you got to continue to follow what the issues are and what are the most important things, and try to report that as much as you can, so you can make, that's the best thing I can do is look at what really is the truth, right? We've got Brian White joining us here. Brian, where are you?
I am at LAX International Airport. I had to clear customs before they would let me plug into anything and make a fool of myself. So here we are. The customs line was very short. I had 4 seats to myself, so I got to lay down and sleep for hours. I feel great.
You
That
sound
never
good.
happens.
You look good.
Yeah.
Did they search you for any contraband?
Interestingly, Nick, and this is surprising to me, is that the line for non-U.S. folks was 1,000 deep, and I was third in line for U.S. passport holders.
Wow.
So it was the easiest customs and immigration check I've ever had in the U.S., including by land at the Canadian border.
You didn't answer his question. No. Did you get it?
And I'm not going to.
I was gonna say you looked a little flush, and I was like, "Huh, I wonder."
Because you were
think
just
it's
at
you,
the
Randy.
poppy fields in Nepal, right?
Is that what they have? I don't hike, so
Oh,
yeah. So
What
yeah,
a trip that you did.
I
Yeah.
was not able to catch much of the show, but I did see that some of the comments, and I noticed that there are folks who didn't appreciate Nick's tone. It's like, well,
Oh, no,
you
no,
know,
no.
you know,
No, not all. He's saying it as it is. We're having a deep conversation, Brian.
Well, and
you
that's
can
the
join
important
in.
part. And that's the important part. What you were just saying is you have got, anyway, you've got a unique role to fill where you have to find the experts who can change your mind. Because we've got a lot of ideas of what we think we know, and we're not inside the industry. So we have to rely on people like Dr. Scott Walter to help us understand something that to him is very basic and to us is brand new information.
But Nick is right. He's pointing out that almost all of us, I don't know what number, what to give, but are over optimistic, and we've been wrong.
Yeah. Yes. I agree with that entirely. The thing that, and Nick and I didn't talk about this yesterday, but we were both on X posting kind of the same thing is the plan wasn't a plan. He bowed to the pressure. He will actually release a plan. Imagine in Ocean's 11 if he said, okay, so you know how we're going to rob the casino vault? I have a plan. And he goes, great. What is it? I'm going to rob the casino vault.
yes,
That's
exactly.
not a plan.
With these
Brilliant.
guiding principles, these 6 guiding principles.
Yes.
Don't get
craft.
caught.
Don't get caught.
Make sure
It's
you
like-
get the money.
Well, no, I mean even more vague than that. It's clever, lock tumbling. It's like, well, that's okay. What?
Yeah.
So
The best
anyway,
line in the
stealthy.
plan, the best plan in Master Plan Part 4 was something like, "We will always make products better than the previous ones."
Well, that's a good sign, I suppose. That is going in the right direction, and I'm still getting comments after Elon came out and said, "No, you're right. We will release something that actually has milestones that are measurable on it, and an object and a roadmap to get there." Because from posting questions about it on X, what I saw is everybody read something different, and none of what we read was actually in it because there wasn't much in it. It's exciting. I'm looking forward to that future. I look forward to finding out how we get there from here, because here is understood, there is understood. The time in between has a lot of questions.
And the here and there changes constantly.
Yes. Well,
Right.
the here
At
definitely
one point,
does.
yeah, at one point we're gonna have a factory in Mexico. At one point we're gonna do 20 million vehicles a year. At one point, I mean, like, you can go on and on, right? So I
Right.
think when the here to there changes constantly, I think that at least warrants a little. Well, here's why.
But you
Right.
you know why, right, Nick?
No, I don't.
Why we don't
And
have a
I-
gigafactory in Mexico? Why we don't
You
we're no
actually
longer
think
shooting
you
for
know?
20 million? I don't
Do
know.
you actually
but
know? Okay, exactly.
My,
Okay, so
my guess is because
that's
of
where I
the
leave it.
change in the strategy to autonomous vehicles.
I have lots of guesses. I could guess all day, but I don't know. And that's where it would be wonderful for Tesla to let the shareholders know what happened with this big piece of property that we bought and we're not
Certainly
using.
paid money for, yeah.
Yeah.
So when I was in Monterey, I talked with my contact there. We were trying to determine, can we pull the permits at least, see what's going on? And the answer is no. We can't even pull the contracts to understand the terms of the property possession. So it's it's a business secret, I guess it was declared. So that's kind of the opposite of transparency. Maybe it's just an option that they purchased. Maybe they were given an option. I just don't know.
Yeah. But anyways, like, not to get too lost into one example, but just the point is, like, the master plans are, first of all, they should be from Elon's tone and point of view.
Yeah.
All right, they should be like that. We shouldn't have to even say that. Like, that should just be obvious. 2, we don't need details like we're gonna build this amount of vehicles. We're going to do this. We're going to have this amount of drives without interventions before we expand to the next. We don't need anything like that, but we need more than what we got, like something in the middle, right? Because what we got was pure marketing. It is essentially what we're talking about. It was everything that Elon and Tesla claim they don't want and don't like, and that's what they put in there for us.
Yeah.
Like the irony was crazy. Like, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, 1 and 2 were perfect. 1 and 2 were exactly what I think that the CEO basically explaining to his employees and everyone else, this is what our strategy is. And this is what we're going to do. You don't have to say numbers. You don't have to be that specific, but you don't do fluff, right?
Yeah.
Like yesterday on a space, I kind of said, okay, here's what I would have said. Maybe they should have said this instead for Master Plan 4, right? Which is AI. The path to AI and AGI is first and foremost the most important foundation for everything that's happening in the future. We're going to partner with XAI and build the biggest data centers we can to accomplish that. We'll use that to build the most, Optimus, humanoid robots, and other bots. We'll also create autonomy that's going to be great for the world. And then from that, we're going to build energy generation that's going to create as low cost energy as we can, most likely through solar and batteries. That's the kind of plan that they should be laying out. That kind of stuff is what I was saying. Very simple, but
Can I switch up the conversation here? Because I selfishly have questions for both of you. So sorry, everybody else who's listening. Maybe you have the same questions, but I'm going to monopolize this. What do we know about the proxy that's going to come out? And when do we know when it'll drop? If it'll drop with Elon's compensation package, suggestions? What do we know about all that?
So I had talked to Alexander Mertz. She was on a space that I did yesterday, and she said within about September 12th to September 20th, something around that line, they should drop the proxy. So this month.
So not this week.
She's just, again, obviously these are all her estimates based on her knowledge. She has a lot of knowledge of which dates. She thinks that by September 8th is the date that you have to have shares of record. Whatever Tesla shares you have, you need to have that on whatever it is on around September 8th, right? Again, she can't tell you the exact
public
date, but she went and took a look at all the other dates of when that date of record becomes. So do your thing now this week to make sure that you own those shares. Like if you have shares that are margin, you've got to call up the broker, and you have to tell the broker to say, hey, I don't want you to lend those shares out. If it's in margin, you may not have voting rights for each of those shares you think you own. So you got to do that now. And then what was your next question? Yeah.
The comp package and all that. Like I guess.
So we will see that on the proxy is what she's saying, which is basically sometime this month.
Okay. Yeah. Like the point of record or date of record, like you can figure that out because normally it's, I don't know, every so many days, like your broker should let you know that, or you should be able to go and see it. But as far as, I didn't know if there's a rule that the proxy has to be released X amount of days before the shareholder meeting.
I went to double check that my shares were still registered because in the past it seemed like I had to keep submitting paperwork regularly, and they were still registered. So maybe they've got something figured out where they're able to verify it. I don't know, but you can go to if you're concerned at home, you just can search it on Google and find how to submit your your documents if you haven't already.
Yeah, but Nick, that's how come Alexander thinks it's around this month, because there's a number of certain days that he has to done before the annual shareholder meeting.
Gotcha. And then let me pivot one more time. What are you guys' thoughts right now on, and let me not lead by what I think, but what do you guys think right now about Tesla's recent, let's say, improvements on exposure for FSD?
You were sufficiently vague that I'm not sure what you mean.
Promoting FSC, whether or not they've done something with FSC, because there's a little
they did
sign.
in Australia, by the way, is brilliant. They actually called up all the right people. Gavin wasn't in Australia at the time; he was in New Zealand. They flew him over. They got them butts in seats. Bring your cameras, shoot as much as you want. This is happening. Take it all week. And they did. And the amount of footage, the amount of enthusiasm, every market we go into, let's do it this way. That's a good approach. And what this also means, by the way, is that we can count the deferred revenue, not all of it, but some of it, from all of Australia since forever. That's going to help the financials. And that's a one-time thing. Oh, okay, but it's still a thing. Those are real dollars we're counting. And so I think that in that regard, the approach has been good. If I'm missing part of the question, please let me know.
Yeah, he's asking if you think that Tesla's already starting to promote FSD. Based on what I understand that they've done in the last month, it's very minimal, right? They included FSD now as you're buying a car, a Tesla. It's one of the pages now, which is great. It pops up a few times in some screens. That's great. But that's as far as we know, right? Things like that, little things like that. That's not enough.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you're kind of getting to where I was going to go to. So I saw someone had a photo of the computer screen, the screen in their Tesla where it said try FSD on there.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if that's fake or not, but
no, I see it all the time in my cars as I'm driving it. If I'm not turning it on,
try FSD.
It pops up. Yep. Use FSD now. No, I bought FSD, so that's interesting. They're just trying to get to use it, but I'm noticing that there were a lot more pop-ups. In fact, a little bit more annoying that these pop-ups keep coming up.
I think it's annoying that you're not using it enough that you get
No, I'm
pop-ups.
using it. I use it all the time.
I know. That's why I'm so surprised.
I use it all the time. No, I use it all the
You're
time.
addicted.
Yeah, I use it all the time. Yeah. But it's my daughters were driving, and I was insisting that when they drive, they need to turn it on now.
Well, what's their take? Why I was listening to you talk to what's his name, but why didn't they turn it on?
So my daughter has a Tesla Model 3 in LA, and I've not she's buying the monthlies to help her with Auto Park, and all this time I've not pushed her to do it because my experience with Model 3 is not quite yet FSD to some point that I'm going to tell her to do it. And then they're both just didn't know anything about it. They had even though they've heard me talk about it, they haven't tried it. So I said, you got to just try it while I'm here with you, just so you can experience it. So they both did. And they both kind of like open eyes, realizing, oh my God, you're saying that you've been driving this the whole time, every restaurant we've been going to. And I'm saying to them that today with the Hardware 4, AI 4 cars, I believe, personally, I'm very strongly believe, and I kept hammering them on this, that you are safer as you're a great driver. You're a great driver. I'm a great driver. But with FSD, you are safer now. And so I'm insisting that they do it. And so now they've started to use it too. But it just, like the problem was my daughter used it with me because we've been testing this. And so she still remembers the times when it might do something weird. And that's her memory. And that's what the difference is with today's version versus what it was 6 months ago.
Yeah. See, that's why I don't think that they're doing enough. Like, I think they've made some, I don't even want to say real steps forward. I think they're doing the things they should have been doing all along. Like a video of FSD working when you're on the purchase page, like that's like as bare minimum as it gets.
Yeah.
Like even people who aren't trying would have thought of that. Having a pop-up, like literally pop-ups have been around for how long, guys? Since the advent of the internet. Like,
Sure.
Do you accept these cookies or not? Like, come on. Like, this is some very basic stuff. It really seems to me like I don't understand. If I go to a Tesla showroom, it still doesn't even say FSD. It'll say autopilot. If I go to a Tesla showroom, they're still not like. It blows my mind that the main thing they're advertising is not FSD. Like, I don't know what it is in Tesla that they seem to have this inability to market or talk about their best product. And so I don't know. I look, tip my hat to them, credit where it's due. They are doing more than what they were. They're doing more now than what they ever have. But to me, it's like now they're just doing the bare minimum that you would have expected for them to do. Brian,
I think it might
where
be,
am I wrong?
I don't think you're wrong. I no, I don't think you're wrong. I think there's a legal area they don't want to wade into when you're making claims, when you're even implying claims. I don't think they want to deal with the potential repercussions. We've seen how even when it is laid out very clearly what's going on, it's still a $250 million settlement for there was nothing wrong with that car. Every single car would have made the same mistake with or without any kind of autonomy running on it. You keep your foot on the floor and take your eyes off the road, you're gonna have a bad time. So I think they're just it's an abundance of caution on the legal front. Maybe they've run potential ads by different, by the legal counsel in the past, and it hasn't gone well. So I don't know.
Unsatisfying answer, but yeah, probably some truth to that. So we both agree
Well,
with you, Rick.
what's your answer then?
My answer, and it's not doesn't answer the completely, but again, I think that I'm hoping that in Q4 they will go all out and promote it for a couple of reasons. One is right now they are selling every Tesla they can at this point. Again, who cares? It doesn't matter, right? You should still be promoting FSD. I get that, but I think that in Q4, without the IRA credit, and the FSD 14 comes out, and it's going to be that much better, just that better, just enough better that you're willing to go and try to get basically as everybody to use it. That's the time to do it. We did have Lars Morvey just confirm a few days ago in an interview with Jay Leno that it's gone from the single digits to teens for most cars, and Model S and X is at 50%. So it is a price point that people are not willing to buy. But, Elon already hinted, didn't he? Or he kind of said, though, I think that the value of FSE is when you can go and do your makeup and you can go to sleep. That's when you can really have the value.
I love that the take rate is so high on the S and X where it is mandatory.
Well, that just new. That mandatory thing is just new, though, right?
Right. It's just phasing in. That's why it's only half, because it probably covered half the reporting period. If it was already at 50%, I can see where they would bundle it in. That's, I guess, a better deal. But yeah, I've seen a lot of suggestions on what Tesla should do to increase adoption. And a lot of them I strongly disagree with, like one-time use for a fee or one-day use passes.
What?
I disagree with those. I think those would make people have to face a daily decision between safety and money, and I think that's something that I just don't think is a good idea. I don't think it would work. I think the real key is just bring the cost down, and doesn't have to be radical, but for a lot of people buying a new car or a brand new certified pre-owned Tesla, getting a lease for $200 a month, and then being asked to pay another $100 for safety. Paywalling safety is a difficult proposition, and it's fraught with ethical considerations. So I don't know. I think cost is an issue.
Yeah, I almost wonder if they should just fold it into the price of the vehicle sometimes.
Absolutely. I think take whatever the take rate you would accept is 20% the acceptable take rate for Tesla. Great. Bump every car up by 20% of what FSD costs. $1,600 there. Now everyone's got FSD. I don't know. It seems like it would be a reasonable solution, but what do I know?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is there. I do there's a lot of creative things I think you could do. For instance, like in Texas, California, if you have Tesla insurance, then if you're using FSD, you should immediately get a deduction while you're using FSD. Now, I don't know if that gets messy, but that's definitely, I think, the world that we're going to have to get into and we need to be thinking towards. So,
well, that is what's happening right now. So Jeff Lutz is in Chicago, and he uses Tesla insurance, and he showed that here's what happens when you start using FSD, like 90% of your time, his insurance fell.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm saying. I mean, it is, but it's not. What I'm saying is, if you like blatantly say, if you use FSD during this time, we will drop your insurance price while you're using it by X amount. Like, explicitly say it.
Just say it. Yeah.
Yeah, just do it. Like, you have to believe in your software. You don't. Yeah, and you can have all the caveats, all the legalities in there, but that's just another, you know, little thing that they could do. But I kind of agree with you, Herbert. Sorry, Brian. I do think that they are probably waiting for 14. At least that's what I'm hoping. I'm optimistic that that's what they're doing before they really do a big push. But my rational brain says, if that was the case, then why are they doing anything right now? If they're truly waiting for this next milestone, why are they even pressing it now? Why wouldn't they just wait? What's another month?
Yeah, I think one of the hesitations there is it could be legal requirements. Insurance companies are very heavily regulated at the state level. That's one of the reasons Tesla's struggled to expand is state insurance commissioners are sticky, and it could be a very difficult path to navigate to say, here's how we're going to invent a whole new pricing structure. But I think someone like Matt or Bradford might be able to speak to us. They follow Lemonade very closely, which does some pretty innovative things. So I don't know. There are possibilities there. But once it's unsupervised, how much insurance do I need? I mean, it's
Right. Tesla will
if it's
take
going
on
to
the
be
insurance.
if it's going to be 1/3 as likely to crash as me or anyone, shouldn't my rate go down by 2/3? I don't know. I guess not. So yeah, that will be interesting to see.
And you run the risk of tying FSD to insurance, which you don't necessarily want to do. You know,
Well, and Tesla insurance isn't available in every state, but hopefully,
don't I know it?
yes, but hopefully the competition will recognize that. Look, these cars are not getting in accidents. We need to offer aggressive rates. We want these in our portfolio. And
Instead, they're raising rates on anyone who owns a Tesla.
well, they're so easy to steal. No, the opposite. Aren't they the least stolen car?
Yeah, but the maintenance is so high and things break on
Oh,
them.
that's true. That's true. You know, yeah. You know how many fuel filters I've gone through? I can't
More
even
than you
count.
can count. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Okay. So looks like in a minute and a half. I don't know. You guys can vamp all you want. I'm going to be waiting over on the after show for what reason I can't imagine. But I'll be there. You guys can chat with me and ask me questions and all that. Nick, a pleasure seeing you. Herbert, talk to you tonight.
Yes. We'll talk today.
Yeah.
He's been flying in, so we didn't do our shows. We'll do it tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
No party that you're gonna miss, Nick. I love you, dude. You're awesome. So this is, I mean, you play a role in this community, which is fantastic, right? Call it as it is. You're willing to kind of step out of the bounds, and you don't care so much. Not that you don't care, but you're just giving a lot of thought. Deep thinker, right? And you know, yeah.
I don't know. I'm either wrong or I'm right, but
Right. All of us,
that's
same
it.
thing,
That's
right?
all it is.
Yeah. And what you're saying is that learn from your mistakes and try to carry that forward. And so that's why it's best to not make predictions. But it's fun, right? I mean, sometimes this is just the show, right? We're just kind of, you know, like it'd be fun to just guess your way through, but don't put your money on something unless you feel, you know, that your conviction is strong.
Yeah, I wouldn't say don't make predictions. I think predictions are healthy. Like you have to have a point of view. And I think it's healthier to make a prediction and be wrong about that prediction than be someone who is always just in the stands and you're never in the arena. Yeah. Like look, it's a lot harder to go out there and state what you think, open it up to the world for them to criticize what you think. You know, like to get to that point, I imagine, have actually put some thought into your opinions. But where I think people make a mistake is thinking that they can predict timing. I think timing is really hard. Now, I have no problem saying that I do think that Tesla will be at all-time highs by the end of the year. I do think that we'll break 400 in the next month and a half. But I don't know. And I will always say that I don't know. I'm putting a finger in the air and you know, waving it like I don't care. No, but I don't know. I have no real idea of what's going to happen. But predicting, having a point of view, I think it's healthy. I think you have to have that. Otherwise, where do you even start?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
and my focus is product and company. As you know, I'm a big Apple and Steve Jobs fan for decades, I'm just enthralled and so excited about the way he thinks about business, and he introduced something new, right? Of how he builds products, how he runs his companies, and I want to study that from the best companies out there. And I follow lots of startups as well, because I want to see, if you were a startup, how would you launch that? What kind of decisions would you make? Right now I'm looking at Tesla, and I really, really believe that the way he runs this company, the way the products are rolled out and what they are is great. Are there mistakes? Like, are you not promoting FSD more? Are you launching a part 4? Why did you do that? I agree. Those are mistakes. But the big picture things, they're not, the things that matter, they're hitting out of the park, maybe delayed. It's like the famous phrase, right? It's like he turns impossible to impossible, something
Really
impossible. He just made it really late. So we're complaining that the stock has been flat for 4 years, and that was a mistake. Could have put it in a video, and some of us did. But at the end of the day, I don't know about timing, but is the thesis correct, right? Is Tesla going to be one of the top leaders, maybe not the number one, but some of the top 10 in human or robots? There's a high chance. There's a high chance that they could be number one because of manufacturing, that they can solve these issues with hardware. We're still at that point, right? It's unproven that they can solve these hardware issues, reliability of an actuator. Think about our elbows. When you carry something 50 pounds and you keep repetitively do that, how long can your own elbow last? But we're humans, and the humans are perfectly, amazingly designed, right? The human body is amazing, but they have not yet created an actuator that can replicate that length of time durability at this point. That is the bottleneck. That's an issue. So don't believe at this point that they've solved the humanoid body and that's ready to go for mass scale. There's going to be a lot of iteration. But then you look at Tesla and you go look at SpaceX, look what they've been able to build and create, all the products that they've created inside the car, inside the rocket, creating new materials, like brand new materials, inventing new steel, new kinds of technology. They're the most likely to be able to accomplish this at some point. But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I do agree. And just to end it on an optimistic note, personally, I would not be, and this is not financial advice, but I would not be someone right now to get in the way of Tesla. There's so much potential, so many potential catalysts that could send the stock moving that I would not want to get in the way. After we get past Thursday and Friday, I think Tesla will become more dependent on Tesla. Thursday and Friday will be all about the market itself. So Tesla will trade with the market, in my opinion. But after that, it's going to be the proxy. It's going to be delivery numbers. It's going to be just, the shareholder vote. It's going to be Elon's compensation. That's kind of the same thing. But it's going to be delivery numbers. It's going to be the question like, okay, was there really this much FSD take rate? What's that do to margins? That's interesting. And then we got earnings. We got new. I know we talked about this last week, Herbert. I think that they will. I think October is the new vehicle. I don't see any other way. It doesn't make any sense to delay it. You can take every single order reservation you want now for the Y3 so people can lock in their $7,500 credit, but that doesn't preclude you from starting October 1st. It just means those people might get their deliveries a little delayed. Well, why would you not go ahead and open up and reveal the new vehicles? I don't want to say it's going to happen October 1st, but should.
Some people like Alexander Merz is suggesting that it might actually be revealed a week before October 1st, which is like 2 weeks from now. Why? Because then you can take pre-orders and then you can be part of the $7,500 credit, and then you finalize the agreement after October, but get a bunch of people sign and agree, or not sign, but basically, order it the week before, and then they can all take advantage of the $7,500. Could be. Could happen,
Yeah.
right? Because I mean, they were supposed to launch these more affordable vehicle in the first half of the year, and then we think that they postponed it because of the IRA credit, and so they were ready. They're likely ready, right? That could have been more likely the case that they were ready to launch it already. So for them to say, "I'm going to do it October 1st," I'm going to do it now, maybe, yeah,
Yeah.
or we
Yeah,
can be all surprised, yeah.
Yeah, my thing, I wouldn't get in the way of Tesla right now. I think she's about to pop. Like she
But
seems.
you're not making any predictions.
No, again, I didn't say
We don't
predictions
know
are
the
wrong.
timing. Yeah, yeah.
I don't know the
Okay.
timing. I'm just saying she looks like she wants to pop. I don't know when, but
I think you're referring to your own baby coming soon. So
well, that's for sure. She's definitely ready to pop. She's ready.
okay, we'll see. Thank you very much, everybody. That was a fun, deep conversation today. Nick and I are good friends. Don't worry. We love talking to each other. I love it. Thanks, everybody. Stay on. You'll be on with Brian soon.